You know that feeling, right? Every single year, the world just expects you to feel this big wave of renewal on January 1st. But if you've ever just felt nothing, if that whole collective excitement feels totally foreign to you, it's not because you're broken. It's because your mind isn't just on a different system. It's running completely different software. See, society is pretty much built on what psychology calls mental landmarks. These symbolic dates, they create the illusion of a fresh start, a trigger for everyone to get motivated all at once. But this entire system, it's a top-down mandate. It's a push from the outside world. And your brain, well, it's wired to resist that. For most people, they kind of need these rituals to get things started. They're waiting for permission from the calendar. But psychology shows something very, very different for a specific type of mind. So if you feel indifferent to all these landmarks, that's not a flaw. No way. It's a clear signal that your cognitive wiring prioritizes real internal momentum over some social ritual. You aren't unmotivated. Your motivation is just immune to those external triggers. So let's actually decode the psychological framework behind this whole thing. There are 4 core cognitive reasons your brain just rejects all this manufactured hype. All right, number 1. The first big observable trait is this. You just don't wait for a specific date to make a change. When you decide something needs to be fixed or optimized, you start right then and there, whether it's a random Tuesday in October or January 1st. This is a classic marker of what's called an internal locus of control. Your motivation, it's generated from the inside. It's calibrated by your own standards, not by social excitement. You don't need a New Year's party to get fired up about your goals because that drive is already baked into your personal operating system. And this independence from external rituals, it's not apathy. It is a powerful cognitive strength. It means you don't need to borrow momentum from the world or waste your precious cognitive bandwidth trying to process its cues because you're perfectly capable of generating your own. Now, that internal drive leads us straight into the second trait. You have this instinctive trust in logical, repeatable systems over these big, emotional, one-off rituals. You just know that a single day of motivation is totally useless without a daily process to actually back it up. Think about it. New Year's resolutions are a classic System 1 phenomenon. They're emotional, they're fast, they're driven by social hype. Your mind, though, it defaults to System 2. It's analytical, it looks at these symbolic dates and sees them as inefficient, surface-level shortcuts that don't produce any real data or any lasting change. It trusts things that are measurable and consistent. And this isn't about being cold. It's about cognitive efficiency. Your brain doesn't waste energy on the cheap dopamine hit of a symbolic fresh start. Instead, it puts those resources toward designing and executing a plan that will actually get results. That's the mark of a mind that's wired for long-term strategic success. This right here, this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got high emotion and really low strategy. On the other side, that's your brain's preference, low emotion, high strategy. One is a gamble. The other is a calculated investment. Okay, number 3. This trait often shows up as a resistance to what you might call performative celebration. Birthdays, holidays, New Year's Eve, they can feel just like another day. And maybe you even feel a little bit guilty that you can't match the energy of everyone around you. This comes from a high degree of emotional regulation. Your brain doesn't just attach strong feelings to an event because society says it's supposed to. This allows your internal state to stay stable no matter what external pressures are going on. You feel what is authentic to you, not what's written on the calendar. This calm response, it isn't emotional distance. It is mental control. It's actually a key indicator of high emotional intelligence, the ability to observe and manage your own internal state, rather than just being yanked around by external pressures. Now, that emotional control allows for the fourth, and maybe the most defining trait of all, an instinctive focus on the long-term trajectory rather than on single symbolic moments. A year is just a collection of 365 days, and in your analysis, all of them carry weight. This is what's known as future-oriented cognition. Your brain is constantly running these long-term analyses, measuring progress in months and years, and in that huge data set, any single date, even January 1st, becomes statistically insignificant. It's just one data point in a much, much larger system. And this, right here, is the essence of strategic, high-level thinking. While other people are obsessed with the novelty of the starting line, your mind is already mapping the entire path, calculating the variables, and focusing on the destination.
So when you put all these traits together, a really clear psychological profile emerges. And it's not about disliking parties or resolutions, it's about a fundamental difference in your cognitive architecture.
Your mind relies on its own internal standards. It trusts systems over rituals. It regulates its own emotion independent of social pressure. It thinks in these long-term trajectories. And above all, it values what's authentic over what's performative. This is your cognitive fingerprint. If this is resonating with you, you need to understand this. Your brain is simply not designed for surface-level living. These traits are not signs that something's wrong with you. They are the markers of a mind that's wired for depth, for analysis, and for control. If you want real psychology that helps you understand yourself, not fake motivation, subscribe to Strata 2. Because here, we don't just scroll through life, we decode the mind.